Hey CardRunners, this is Faarcyde here, doing another video. This one is a heads-up student of mine. I did a quickie or an on-the-go hand with him a while ago, and he gave me consent for me to go over his hands in this video. So just to give you some perspective, he's been playing 6-max and full ring sit and goes for a long time, and I've been trying to transition him to heads-up. I think he would have a good skill set for it. So he started playing the $15 games on PokerStars heads-up games. And he's making a lot of mistakes, but he's making good progress. These are some of the games like we've been going for a couple months now. This is when we first started, so to give you some perspective. But I think he's making I would say a lot of typical mistakes that people who transition to heads-up make. Trying to play too fancy, kind of feeling that other people are always trying to take advantage of you, and that type of thing. So let's look at the hands and see what happens. So almost all these guys that we're going to be playing are unknowns at the 15s, or at least I don't know them. There might be some sort of reg presence at the 15s, I'm not exactly sure, because I never played there, but anyway, the board texture comes ace-8-3, and that's one thing that I'm always telling students that's just start playing is just try to recite the texture in your head, and kind of gives you a good idea of where to go from there. So I would say in my head, ace-8-3, one suit. And I think the only move here is to check call. I don't see folding being an option, and I don't see check raising being an option. So not a great turn card. He's gonna, barrel this a lot, whether he has it or he doesn't, and us not having a club, it's basically going to be a fold, but he checks through. Our hero decides to bet this river, ostensibly as a bluff, betting 120 into 160. I think we have a lot of showdown value here with him checking the turn, so I don't really see much of a point here. I think maybe what he was thinking is that he checked the turn so he doesn't have an ace, so maybe he's trying to fold him off a king or a 9, but the thing you have to realize in heads up is that everybody is just a calling station, basically. So to try to turn a made hand into a bluff here, first of all, it's an advanced play that I don't think you should really be attempting if you're transitioning into heads up, and second of all, it takes a very particular opponent for it to work, and I don't think this is fits either of those two qualifications. Kind of surprising that he didn't bet kings up on the turn there. I guess I would say that that's a kind of a universal truth that fish or inexperienced players are generally extremely scared of the flush, so you see them playing very passively against it, and conversely, when a flush is out there, is that if they put a lot of action, they typically have it. This is a change in his game that I've seen over a couple months, that I think this is a board that we could probably just check back. If you think about the normal flatting range for your average opponent, it's going to be a ton of middling connectors like 9, 10 and above and stuff like that, and king 5 suited, jack X, whatever. It's very hard for him not to have a hand on this board. So this is a board that I just don't mind giving up on. Now if somebody is calling, if their flatting range is more in the upper echelons of 70-80%, then I think this turns into a bet, just as a semi-bluff and as protection value bet. We get check raise and just fold there. And on ace-3 deuce, it depends on somebody's opening range, but typically this wouldn't be a texture that I'm going to attack that much. It's hard to get credit on those ace-high flops because you're going to be 3-betting a lot of your better aces, so he's I think typically people are thinking, if you're check raising an ace-3 deuce, it's what are you check raising for value? It's basically just aces up or nothing, and that hand just doesn't come around too often, so.